Join me on the Business Immigration Benchmark, where I tackle all the immigration and global mobility challenges head on and provide direct, practical solutions. Follow us on Spotify and join the conversation.
I think it really depends on the business. For a contract-driven business like government contracting, it's often about filling the position. For more of a commercial product-driven business, it's a way to develop their leadership talent and gain sort of a diversity of ideas. I think one of the key points when it comes to global mobility in the business is many times they can see global mobility as an adversary. And to kind of overcome that adversarial relationship, I think it's really important to have an open dialogue and educate the business on what it takes to do business overseas so that you can turn that no into a yes when they come to you for advice and guidance.
Global mobility is the movement of employees from one location to another location and taking into consideration not only their families move and their housing or their schooling or their personal interests, but also taking into the consideration their salary and their benefits and their pension and their social security and their tax implications, and maybe their transportation, their host transportation, their lease car, taking into consideration all the elements that make up their compensation and benefits package, considering one location versus the location the one location where they're coming from versus the location where they're going to, and perhaps throwing into the mix a third location where they have their pension. So it's a very complex package of moving a person from one location to the other while keeping the focal point of their personal experience as a top priority.
So I think the value of global mobility to the business is our enabling their achievement of whatever their business goals are. And, it can be simply that there's maybe a site ramp up or a specific skill set that they're seeking and that they need to bring people into. And I feel like we're a big enabler of that. There's also in some companies an opportunity to really tie to leadership development and succession planning. So I think for the business, it's really whatever ties into what their overarching strategy and objectives are, and just our ability to help them achieve that.
So we are the support structure to the business to enable them to achieve their day-to-day activities as well as their long-term strategic goals. We do this by identifying the feasibility of a relocation, consulting with them to build up an ideal package for an individual based on their circumstances, based on the business needs, ensuring that it is within the business's budgets. And by doing this, we're enabling the business to get their key talent to the right locations at the right time.
Global mobility to the business, I think, really helps as more of like a HR service, if you will. I feel like that's how most companies see it. And by that, I mean that it really is a people group, meaning that it is supporting, the people and the team in order to either help with an immigration case or help with a relocation case. And so it's really an adjunct. I think the differences that have happened over time is that global mobility partners have become more partners and less just, individual, service things that happen as they go. I think over time, it's really become more strategic, and every company has a different, package that they give people, and that's valuable to the company because that brings new great hires into that company and then supports the people that are already there. So I think, it is a people centered.
Global mobility is the enabler that helps talent acquisition, fills the gaps in resources where we need talent across the globe. Without global mobility, talent acquisition would not be able to facilitate a mobile workforce. in order to support the need for talent that we have in all of our different business sections across the globe.
Global mobility to the business is vital. For a business that thrives on hiring and maintaining talent around the world, global mobility is a very, very vital function to the organization. Global mobility ensures and helps talent place talent where they need to be so that they can do the job that they need to do to ensure company success. So to the business, it's an extremely vital function.
Global mobility to the business is an enabler. Global mobility allows for businesses to have their people where they need them at every moment in time, which is why it allows for global mobility to move around. Global mobility, it is a partner to the business. But it's also sometimes a roadblock. And the reason why I'm saying this is because although yes, we as global mobility professionals enable the business to move the people where they need them, not every time can we move them at the fast pace that they need them to be. Global mobility, we are a roadblock as well because we have to be mindful of global mobility obligations. Like every regulation, we need to be always on top of that. So if something changes, we always need to be telling the business. And so not every single time can we move as fast as they want us to be moving. But that being said, we are, I want to say, the gatekeepers of their compliance.
My definition of global mobility is really, the act of helping an individual or an individual and his or her family move from one country to another. I know that there is a lot of domestic relocations, but my experience is primarily cross-border movements. So it's anything and everything that entails immigration, tax, pensions, social securities, banking, housing, shipment of goods. The act of helping somebody or somebody in their family move from one location to another. And so I think it's a very middle woman, humanistic, empathetic role that requires a lot of effective communication and active listening, because you're helping somebody through perhaps one of the most stressful yet exciting times of their lives.
Global mobility is a lot of things, but at the core, it's moving people from one country to the other and helping them grow, whether it's in their careers or as a person, experiencing a whole other culture and growing professionally and personally.